currently 12 years old. I'm a videographer and documentarist.
I am Foster Lambert Heuer. Oh my God. And I am the interviewer. And I'm currently 8 years old, I think.
Our project is to get important pieces of information from our old relatives and somehow use this to learn from them,
I guess.
in different ways.
I think. Tootsie Rise, what's your favorite candy and song?
Excuse me? What? My favorite candy? Butterfingers. My favorite song is Waltz Across Texas.
Who's it by?
Have you ever heard of it? No? Okay.
Well, who's it by?
I think he's dead, but it was a country western singer. Ernest Chubb or something like that. Okay. I can keep talking? Oh, I'm through? Oh, okay. My heavens. You want me to do another one? In case somebody else doesn't want to? Oh, well, let's see. Uncle Paul is sitting back there, but they waiting to do happy birthday to Uncle Boo Boo. If you leave that up, those little kids might run into it. I thought you had to do that whole book on me.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yes, indeed. I know you're going to get a good grade this time. Those people are going to say, who in the world is...
Hilton Rice, are you... tell me about your mother, Baum.
My mother, Baum, was a great, wonderful lady. I loved her dearly. I was her firstborn child in a little two-room house out in near McCrae. And we only had dirt roads back in that part of the country at that time. So we were just a very close family, very close-knit family. My mama, my daddy, we had plenty to eat, clothes to wear and everything. We didn't have a lot of money because it's during the Depression, but my mother was a wonderful person. I dearly miss her, and I hope when I leave here I'll be able to see her again.
Well, what's your favorite song?
Pardon?
What's your favorite song?
Favorite song?
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know. When I was young, and I loved country music, I loved this song, Cajun song, Jolie Blanc. When they'd sing it in French, I really, my grandfather, he used to love the Cajun music too. So I guess I could say that was one of my favorite songs.
So what song was it?
Of course, the later years when they had the big band era, Stardust was a good song that we all loved. It was a waltz, and you did play it at the end of a dance, and we really enjoyed that. So that's about the end of my music.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I worked for, let's see, that would have been your great-grandfather. When I first came out of the Navy in 1946, I went to work for General Lambert Construction Company in Metairie, and I worked for him 4 years. And work got kind of slack, and he told me, he said, you need to go ahead and maybe find your job with benefits and insurance where we're not making enough money to take care of insurance and that. So I came to work in Baton Rouge at Ethel Corporation in 1950. And I became a crane operator there for 31 years and 7 months. And I retired from the Health Corporation in 1981. So I had a good work career, enjoyed my work. I enjoyed working for the Lambert Construction Company while I was there. And I've been out there discussing it with Don a while ago, what some of the things that we did. Okay?
That's good.
How sweet.
Doralee, tell me about Daddy Lamb and Mama Dutch.
Oh, Daddy Lamb and Mama Dutch, they were two of a kind. He was kind of a, oh, that's right, I was supposed to look this way. Daddy Lamb was a hard worker, and he always had big jobs. We just thought he was the most important person in the whole wide world. He did all these big road work jobs, and Mama Dutch was just the pillar of the community. And that filtered down to our mother. But we just thought they were wonderful, and we loved to go visit them. They had an old-timey Victrola that you wound up, and it had that horn thing that stuck out, and the music came out through the horn, and that's the one piece of furniture that I remember. They were quite an inspiration to all of us, especially their get up and go.
He was a bit grouchy though, wasn't he, at times?
A little on the grouchy side sometimes. Got that naturally.
What's your favorite song?
Well, my favorite song really and truly is Amazing Grace. And I guess that's because as I get older, I probably have thought that people will be singing it for too many years. And that's my favorite. And of course I have many, many favorites from back in the days of the big band era that my brother was talking about. Oh, and one little addition to what he said, he was the firstborn. He didn't mention that he didn't mention he was born on Mom and Daddy's first wedding anniversary, was the pet then and has been ever since.
Out of 4 children.
I just thought I'd put that little bit in for what it was worth.
In other words, what she's saying, I did no wrong.
Absolutely. If we wanted to go somewhere or get something, all we had to do was to get Hilton to ask Mama or Daddy.
And the answer was yes.
Always.
Can you tell me a story about my papa?
Oh,
John Owen?
No, I think Donald.
Donald.
oh, indeed I can. Well, we were in the paper because our first cousin was the grandbaby of the year in Donaldsonville, the baby for the state of Louisiana it must have been the early 30s. He was so fine and healthy, and Aunt Lil entered him in that contest, and out of all this bunch of bawling bad kids, he won babies. Yeah, that's what I remember most about him, and he used to have pretty red hair, in case y'all don't remember that.
I don't.
She's good, huh?
She's doing better than I did.
Well, don't expect much out of me.
That's all? Thank you so much. That was good questions you thought of.
Very.
Oh, wow. You have to give me some time to think on that one. I love music. I love all kinds of music. I just can't, right off the top of my head, I can't think of a favorite at this moment.
Well, do you have any artists that you would really enjoy? Do you have any music? Do you have any artists you really enjoy?
Any artists that I enjoy?
Musical artists.
I don't know if I have any that you would recognize, but I love the Beatles.
Oh, I like the Beatles. I listen
And people still listen to the Beatles.
Yeah, I listen to
They were very popular when I was coming up. Of course, R&B was popular when I was coming up. I guess more so than it is now. But we used to dance and laugh and cut up and drink beer and have a good time.
Can you tell us a story about our grandfather Don?
Oh, I've got plenty of stories about your grandfather Don, but a lot of them I couldn't tell. However, many summers, a bunch of us would end up at Mama Dutch's, would be your great-great-grandmother, I guess. Your daddy, your grandpa, Donald, and your Uncle John, and your Uncle Charles, and your Uncle Stephen, and my brother Pap, and myself. I don't know how Dutch handled us all, but I know we slept a lot out on the porch in the cool evening air. Your daddy was always the boss, because he was the oldest, and he was a stern boss. He could make us do anything because we were afraid of him. And he used to tell us outrageous stories about going to work with Uncle Paul, logging or what have you, and how he had found some Indians in the forest and different stories that he'd make up, but we believed every word that Donald told us because he was older and smarter. But he loved to play tricks on people. He loved to play like he'd pull the rug out from under you. Or he would get somebody to stand behind you, then he'd push you. And you'd fall over whoever was behind you. He had red hair. Absolutely brilliant red and freckles. And he was a tiger. He was something else. Go ahead.
What's your favorite song?
Oh goodness, we at that again. I think, let's see, one of the Beatles songs that I liked was a long, what is it, Long Day's Night?
Hard Day's Night?
A Hard Day's Night. And See You in September. Oh, there were some great songs. And of course there were a lot of other groups in those days. I hadn't thought about that in a long time. I would like to say here that our grandmother, Dutch, who would have been your great-great-grandmother, was a wonderful lady. She was the best grandmother a person could ask for. Your dad, Mr. John R. Lambert Jr., was a real gentleman, very kind to everybody, very helpful to everybody. I guess he and my mother were extremely, I know they were extremely close because they were close in age and they were close in affection. I remember that well. She thought your grandfather, John Lambert Jr., had hung the moon, that he was just a prince, and he was. He was a wonderful man. And we had a good childhood together, and always enjoyed each other very much. Your uncles and my brother and I. It was a good growing up.
Huh. What's your favorite thing about Mama, Dutch, and some other?
Daddy Lamb?
Yeah, Daddy.
Oh, Mama Dutch and Daddy Lamb never went anywhere together. They always used their own cars. And the reason for that was Daddy Lamb didn't like to linger too long after dinner or whatever the occasion was. When he was through, he was ready to go. Dutch loved to visit and stay behind, and so he'd take off and she'd stay as long as she wanted, and then she'd go on in his car. And they had their little squabbles, Dutch and Daddy Lamb, because Daddy Lamb was a tough customer. He was not, you know, the stereotypical granddaddy. If we were out of line, he didn't hesitate to straighten us out. So naturally, we all favored Dutch as that grandparent, with that side, because she would let us get away with just about anything. Dutch always made a huge garden out behind the house, and was always lots of fresh vegetables, fresh milk. It was a wonderful place to spend time when you were our ages. And but when your grandpa was with us, as I say, he was the boss, and didn't hesitate to let us know about it.
Nelda.
Okay.
Can you tell me a story about my grandfather, Papa?
About Uncle John R?
Donald.
Oh, Uncle Donald. Well, let me tell you, there's a little age difference between Uncle Donald and myself. But I've always known him to be a very successful man, very handsome, and he always was big on family. Really loved his children and grandchildren a whole lot. And the main thing I knew about him was that he was very successful and very handsome.
What's your favorite song?
Oh gosh, I guess it's God Bless America. I like that song a lot.
What do you do for a living?
I am now a homemaker and a grandmother. I taught school years ago, and then I owned a little gift shop, antique store, and now I'm a homemaker and grandmother. You're very good at interviewing. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. What's your favorite song?
Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a retired school teacher.
Okay. Can you tell me any stories?
Not right now.
How about something about your father?
I'll tell you a story about Aunt Honey. Do you know who Aunt Honey is? Your mom does. I mean, your grandma does. She had a flower shop in New Roads, and I used to go stay with Nelda all the time. And of course, being mischievous little girls, we liked to paint our fingernails and toenails, and I think we did it one time when we weren't supposed to. And so what I did was take my toenails and I tucked my toes under like this so she wouldn't see that they had nail polish on them. And guess what happened? I got nail polish on the wooden floor. Well, that got me in even more trouble. That was one story that I remember from growing up. And of course, if I got in trouble down there, I got in trouble when I got home too. And that's usually the way you get in trouble 2 places at one time. Okay. Okay, thank you. I tell you who's interesting to interview. See that guy out there with the white shirt and the blue shorts and the gray hair? He's a great interviewer. He's been on TV being interviewed for all kinds of sports things. He's a coach, so you need to get him in here and interview him. He's pretty good.
Paul, tell me a story about my papa.
What'd you think about it?
Paul, tell me a story about Donnie the Slap.
Me. I want you to tell him a story about
I think everybody was just so happy to come and relax. On the contrary, visit with everyone. And there was a lot of people that
One time Uncle Paul had me hauling gravel up above Alexandria, and the police got me and put me in jail, and I had to wait for him to drive all the way to Alexandria and get me out of jail. Why? Because I wasn't but 50.
Getting ready for third grade promotion.
Right now we're recording.
Lucky, my mom's
It's
making
like all
me
dark.
wear that for
Press
only
this.
elementary.
I'm not gonna do. So even if you do press it, it's not going to do it like that.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
What?
So you'd have been in the 10th grade. And he was on the basketball team. And he used to be one of the fast dribblers. He'd go around people, you know, dribbling the ball like that. And he would fake them, make them go one way, and he'd go the opposite way. And he was a good shot too. And I was reminding him of that a little earlier. And when I was in the 1st grade, it was World War II, and you couldn't get much candy. But Paul got some gold bricks, a little bitty chocolate with pecans in them, and he'd eat half of it and give me half of it. And that was a big treat. It was always nice to me. Then we have to tell them about that old Model A you had. This was a gravel road out here.
Sit back because of the focus.
And Paul would let me drive the thing, and I was a little kid like him. He'd get out on the running board and raise the hood up and adjust something. He put it on where it would stay. It had a throttle on it where you could keep it at the same speed. It was a yellow and black. Well, yellow. It was a little coupe with a rumble seat in the back. Where the trunk was, yeah. You had a tire in the fender, and you would take the trunk and pull it back, and there was a seat in the back. And he was very popular in school then, because he was the only one of the only ones that had a car.
What you say, Mr. Paul? How you doing? How you doing, Bob? Joe Bo, how you doing? You okay? Hanging in there. There you go. That's wonderful.
Boss, do you want to ask me some more questions? That's it? Okay, and then y'all...
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Now y'all gonna turn on...
What's it like to live 90 years?
Just thank the good Lord you had the health to live that long without spending a lot out in the hospital. We always had lots of activities going on, and they did not take gasoline to operate.
How many brothers or sisters did you have?
I had 4 sisters and two brothers.
Shake his hand, right, Dad?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's so good. You did a great job.
What was your brother's like?
What was
What was your brother like?
Which brother?
Donald.
What was all your brothers like?
Plenty. You know how many I had? How many? There's 8 boys and 3 girls. So I had 7 other brothers.
Can you tell me some stories about times you had with your family?
Huh?
Can you tell me some stories about times you had with your family?
Oh, good time. I remember when I was growing up like here, it was a lot of fun. Used to ride horses. We'd get on them, but the horses had never been ridden before, so they were like buck and bronco. And we didn't have saddle or a bridle, so you just caught onto the hair and rode it until you got thrown off. Well, I'm retired. I'm an engineer. I guess I'm mentally retired. I mean, no. Just all over.
What's your favorite song?
Well, I can't think of one right now.
Do you have any artists?
Say again?
Like, do you have any musical artists you like?
Any what kind of artist?
Like bands or musical artists?
No, I guess I've been too busy to listen to the bands. So, who all came today?
Who's your closest friend?
No, I guess I'm getting so old, they dying off.
I better remember you, otherwise I'll be gone. So y'all been interviewing all day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's basically what we're doing at the party.
Okay, well I hope I passed the test.
No, you failed.
Yes, you completely failed. No, thank you.
Nice to meet you though.
Good to meet you too.
Uh-oh, he's got dirty fingers. Oh, now they're clean. Mine are dirty.
Okay, thanks.
It was nice knowing you.
Okay.
Gladys, tell me about growing up in Ennis.
Well, there wasn't much to do, so we had to find a lot of things to do. We went to a school that had all 12 grades. We got to play a lot of baseball in the front yard. We got to mow the grass and catch crickets. We learned how to cook, pick pecans, shuck corn, all kinds of things kids do in the country. And we went to Mama Dutch's and Dada Lamb's a lot. You've heard people talk about them, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are your closest friends?
You mean in my family?
No, just anywhere.
Oh, I tell you what, I have some friends that I grew up with that actually live in Bunkie where I live, and I get to see them real often. So they're some of my closest friends, and my other really close friends are those that I have from church.
Well, what's your favorite song?
My favorite song? Ooh, I don't know. That's a hard one. Let me come back to that one in a minute.
Okay. Well, that's our last question.
That's my last question? Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. I have lots of favorite songs.
Well, do you have well, while you're thinking, do you have a story about about Donald?
Oh yes, I have one that I've heard a lot of. In fact, your grandfather told me the same story on the telephone when I called to get numbers and addresses for this party. And it was that when your grandfather, my Uncle John R., came to pick up Donald and John and Charles, they were from our house when we lived in the old house over there. They were all sitting on the back steps being very good because their Uncle Boo Boo, my daddy, had punished them and told them they had to sit on the step and they couldn't get up until their daddy came to get them. I don't know what they did, but when you came to Uncle Boo Boo's house, I think you had to be good. I know he made us be good, or we got a lot of spankings.
Oh, that's good.
You think? Do you get a lot of spankings? No? Okay.
Well, were you able to come up with like favorite song?
My favorite song? I like a lot of Elvis stuff, and I like a lot of 60s music. And then I have a lot of, church songs that I especially like.
One song.
One song. Oh gosh. When We All Get to Heaven. That's a good peppy song. Oh, gospel song.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
That will be it for now. Wilburn Brooks, can you tell me what?
Well, that is heavy now.
These are?
That's a blackjack vine. Now it had another one grew in this here. You see it right here? You see how these curves are in here? It had another vine that grew in there. But when I went to take them loose, it was so tight. I broke I broke the other one. I was going to use both of them for a walking stick, but I broke one of them, and I had to throw it away. But I got this in here, but this is a good, yes, a good walking stick.